So, hello, AshuTosh. Very good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Yes, I'm fantastic. Thanks for asking. How about you, Shiv? How's your afternoon so far?
Yes, sir. I'm fit as fiddle, doing pretty well in my life, and my day was so far so good. No complaint. By the grace of Almighty God. Thanks for your kind concern.
Oh, sounds really great to me.
And as this is the very first time I'm connecting with you, so I hope you don't mind if you introduce yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So, my name is ASHUTOSH, and I am from Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. When it comes to my education, recently I completed my master's in English literature. Apart from this, I run a YouTube channel based on spoken English conversations. And about my profession, precisely, I'm a spoken English trainer by profession. I help people to speak English one on one. So that's all about me. Thank you so much.
Wow, sir, I'm delighted to hear that the way you have introduced yourself. It's really fascinating to me. And let me introduce myself as well.
Yeah.
Sir, my name is Shiv, and I born and brought up in India. My native place is Uttarakhand. By profession, I'm a central government employee. And as far as my academic qualification, I also have done my Master in English and Master in Commerce. This year, I'm pursuing Master in Economics. This is my final year. In addition to this, I do teach English to beginners and intermediate speakers through different online applications. And I do have my own YouTube channel by the name of English with Teacher Shiv. So that's all from my side, sir.
Oh, that's great to hear about you, and very nice to know that about your education background. You come from commerce background too, right? So, did
Yes.
you do your graduation in commerce, and did you study +2 in commerce as well?
Yes, I'm done with my intermediate from commerce, then bachelor in commerce, then master in commerce. Later on, I am done with my master in English, and this year I'm pursuing my master in economics because I love to study as much as possible for me.
Oh, that's great to hear. Even though I come from this commerce background, so I can relate to you. I did my bachelor's in accounting from Banaras Hindu University, but then I moved from commerce to this literature now. And of course, I'm done with my master's. Now I'm not sure what I'm going to do further, but I'm taking time and working on myself to become better as a speaker first. Yeah.
Okay, that's really great. Yeah. And sir, my question for you is that being a trainer, what are some good piece of advice you can suggest to some beginners and intermediate speakers that after following those tips and tricks, they can improve tremendously? So, yes.
Well, first I say to everyone that they should find out where they are on in this journey and what is their level in spoken English, because everybody is different and everybody has a different English level. Some people are good enough; they can write, they can read, they can understand well. They're scoring good marks in exams. They get 90, 95 out of 100. So for them, it's a piece of cake. Like I would say, like they know everything, but only they have to do practice, right? So they can start practicing from the first day onwards by listening to people, by listening to real conversations. They can do conversations practice. But when it comes to someone who does not know all these basic things, first they should go through the grammar a bit. They should go forward and try to learn tenses a bit, and then try to focus on listening as much as they can so they can get the right sentence structure, right sound of the language, and they can go for speaking. So generally what I say to all of the people, it does not matter they are beginner, intermediate, or advanced level speaker. That is, listen, watch, and speak as much as you can, because by listening you get the original sound of the language, and when it comes to the watching, you get the non-verbal communication, that how you're going to present yourself. That is very important in this communication field. And when it comes to the third one, that is speaking. So speaking comes from speaking. Until or unless you're not practicing with the people, you would be thinking that you have a lot of things in your head, but it would not come out from your mouth. So all these things, three things, are really important to become better in spoken English for everybody. So listen, watch, and speak as much as you can.
Wow, that's really great. Being mesmerized and fascinated the way you have expressed your ideas regarding this question, which I've asked you. And yeah, whatever you have suggested, it's really kind of magnificent and splendid point of view. Thanks. And my next question for you is that I hope you have noticed there are many people they are running behind accent and all. I'm not talking about me because I've been speaking in the same way as I started my learning this language. But I've seen there are many people they give more preference to the accent rather their level of English. So, what do you say about accent and pronunciation, and what could be the right time the person should go for learning an accent?
Yeah, so accent, I say that is the very last thing. You do not have to go for the accent first. First, to try to focus on your fluency and the right pronunciation, clarity of your speech, and the right way of articulating your thoughts. That is more important than this. Actually, the I would say the accent. Accent is like a flavor. Okay. We get cold drinks. So first you have to prepare cold drink. Then you have to change the maybe the flavor, say strawberry flavor or just this orange flavor, whatever you want. So that is the flavor like British accent, American accent, Indian accent, Australian accent, whatever it is. So first you have to prepare just this cold drink, that how you are going to prepare that cold drink or drink in a good manner, then you can go forward and end the flavor. That is the end thing and the last thing I would say. So the first thing is that to become confident and present yourself in a manner that people can understand you well. So communication, the meaning of communication is that you have to reach out to more and more people through your thoughts, through your like in a voice and through your speech. If people are not able to understand you, and if accent is becoming a hurdle for people, I don't really think so that the motive is going to be completed. So the focus on clarity as much as you can, whatever accent you follow, and do not run behind the accent in the beginning, because try to focus on your like speech and way of speaking and the fluency. Then if you feel that now you reached on a certain level where you are done with all those things in a brilliant manner, that you are good with vocabulary and everything, then follow some specific accent, maybe listen to American speakers, British speakers, and you will get that touch, of course, by listening to them. Or if you get any opportunity to have interaction with maybe Cambly trainers or tutors or some people from other like in all those countries, so already you will get that touch by listening to them attentively and by talking to them in that way.
Wow, that's a really remarkable and phenomenal answer you have given, and I'm
But I do
really,
not feel like accent should be the priority, to be honest. That's not the first thing.
yeah, I agreed. And my next question for you is that a lot of people are literally obsessed with this particular inline that whether grammar is important in order to speak English or not, because we have this controversy regarding this particular question. So, what do you think about it?
Yeah, partially I answered this question in first answer, that you should understand your level, what is your level. And if you think that you do not know anything in grammar, at least you go through it and try to know the basics of it. But if you're good enough that you can handle directly the speaking, then of course you can go for it. And I don't say to the people to go very deep down.
Oh, sorry, but I can't hear your voice. I guess you get some call. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry actually.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sorry, there was a call. So I was giving an answer. So it is very important for you to understand your level first. That if you are not aware about grammar, that what is grammar, at least you should know what is grammar. But don't go very deep into it. If you are trying to learn every single rules and regulation before speaking English, that is going to be quite difficult for you. And I think it's very difficult to get that day when you think that you're perfect in grammar, you know 100% rules and regulations and exceptions, everything, and then you would start speaking. So that would take your whole life, I say, because the grammar is a vast subject, and not in one language, every single language. If I talk about Hindi as well, I'm a Hindi native speaker, but it does not mean I know everything about Hindi grammar. I know basics, that how to form sentences and how to talk to people, right? So the same way it goes with English. But there are two ways of learning grammar. First, directly through grammar books, like solving exercises and practicing all those things. And secondly, you can learn by listening to people, because when if you're listening to an authentic speaker, he's also using the correct grammar while speaking and using all those sentences, right? So when you focus on listening attentively, how I learned Hindi, by listening to my parents, by listening to my siblings and neighbors carefully, because I did not go through grammar books when I was 2 years old, right? So that's how the same with English. If you are able to create an artificial environment, or if you have English environment, then directly you can learn without going for English grammar books. But if you feel that you do not have such environment, so at least you should know the basics and then find people who are interested in speaking to you, and later you can improve with the process as well. This is a journey. So because I started 4 years back, till now I make a lot of mistakes. Even though if it is there in my head and the right structure is there, it does not come out in the same way. So that you get from feedback. When people will give you the feedback, then you will be focus on your minor mistakes as well.
Wow, that's really awesome. The way you have answered, it's really incredible. And I'm enjoying this conversation because I'm getting a very different answers of your side, because I've been asking this question to many mentors and trainers as well. But the way they answered or your answer are entirely different from them. And my
Thank
next
you.
question for you that I hope you have seen many times with your aspirants as well that they have learned so many vocabularies, but when it comes to speaking, they can't even recall a single vocab. And at the same time, when they are listening to someone else, then they would say, "Oh God, I know this vocab, but I don't know why this vocab is not coming to mind." So, what do you say about it? Like, why is it happening, and what are the best ways to get rid of all this problem?
Yeah, so learning vocabulary and using vocabulary in a conversation are two different things, and two different dimensions of this language, I would say. If I would give you an example of SSC aspirants, they have to learn 15,000 words and vocabulary, even more than 10,000, but they are not able to use like all of them for sure. They know that what is the meaning, they can choose the correct option A, B, C, D, but when it comes to spoken English, that's quite different, and it is not going to be fit on your tongue in just once when you are using that word. So for vocabulary, what you have to do first and most important thing is that learn vocabulary with context, that where to use, how to use. That is very important to know. If you are taking a dictionary and trying to learn 10 words every day, but you do not have idea that where to use them, practically in what situation I'm going to use all those words. And most important thing, they should be practical words which can be used in conversational skills. Some words are quite obsolete, difficult, that you will not get those situations often where you can use them. So if you're getting that situation once in a year, even though if you know that word, you're not going to use it, and you will not be able to use it because it will not come to your mind, it will not come to your tongue instantly. So what is very important to learn those words which are commonly used in conversational skills. Written English and conversational English are totally different. Okay. So that is the thing. So practical way of learning this is to listen to speeches as much as you can, listen to podcast, and try to focus on those words which are really common and all the good speakers use, and write down in your notebook and try to make sentences out of it, make stories from it, discuss with your friends, and sometimes repeat in your mind, and try to use this consciously whenever you get such situation. Take a pause and use it. If you are not in a final practice, if you are not making video for social media, if you're practicing off camera, take time, take a pause, and then use that word. Then it will come into your mind, and you will be able to use it. That is the right way, but it's not easy. It's always easier said than done.
Wow, again, you hit nail on the head, undoubtedly, and you made me baffled and awestruck the way you have so many insight towards the question I've asked you. And today,
Thank
because
you.
I'm the host, so I'm going to make a bombardment of questions on you. So hope you are not feel annoying about it, right?
Not at all,
Okay,
of course. I'm quite comfortable and habitual of all these questions.
that's really good, sir. Okay, so my next question for you that I hope you have noticed like many times, like many learners or students as well, they have been complaining like when they are speaking, sometimes their mind goes blank. Everything is blunt, dark, nothing else. They can't see anything there. Nothing is coming out from their mind. And especially it happens when they are talking with someone who's really better than them in terms of spoken English. So I want to know from your side why this happen and what could be the best ways to conquer this problem.
Yeah, this phenomena is not for the English learners only. Sometimes I listen to all those like Olympians also who said that when I think Mirabai Chanu, like last time I heard her, when she was on a stage once, she was feeling blank, that even though she was confident enough to lift the weight, but she felt that she's blank and she cannot do good. So it happens with the people and somewhat like low self-esteem and low confidence when you are on international stage, and that is the like international thing. But when it comes, even though if you are a wonderful speaker, but if you are invited to speak on this TEDx, or where thousands of the people are listening to you who are learned and really good in that field, so for them also, for you also, it is going to be very difficult giving the same answers in front of them. So it happens with me also. It's common phenomena. Like if I'm going to talk to somebody who's the director of maybe my institute, or maybe the vice chancellor of my university, even though I know how to speak English, but in front of him, if he is not at all good speaker also, then also I'll not be able to express myself due to that fear of that official post, that he is a vice chancellor. So I have to think a lot before speaking to him. So that's what happens. And sometimes we think like when we are speaking with someone who is better than us, so we always have fear that he is going to focus on our mistakes, and he will be thinking that we are making a lot of mistakes. So that is the big problem, that our mind tells us that you're not good enough like them, and you cannot present yourself in front of them because they are always they are very good in that field. So that's how it is. But it happens by practice actually. The more you face those situations, only that can help you to get rid of that fear. Because public speaking, I would give you an example. If I go on a stage, of course I'm not experienced to speak online. Speaking online, I'm speaking to you only, even though I'm addressing a lot of people who are going to watch video this later. Okay, but right now my focus is on you. I'm answering you completely. But if I'll be in front of 1,000 people, I think like 1,000 minds are just listening to me. 2,000 eyes are looking at me. I would be on the center, and that gives me that agitation and fear. So that's very common. It happens with the people in the beginning, but the more you do practice, the better you become with this language. And maybe after certain a period of time also, it can be happen, and that's totally okay. Give your 200% again, and just say it's normal, it's okay, it's gonna be okay. So don't be hard on yourself, take it easy, but be consistent, and that will help you to get rid of this fear.
Wow, such a stupendous and fabulous advice I'm getting from your side. And again, my next question for you, because I don't want to waste my time, because it's really hard to get appointment from your side to have a video conversation. So I hope you know there are many people who often mispronounce some words, and they are really annoyed by their own mispronunciation, and they are kept asking questions to me like, how can we improve our pronunciation? So what about you? What do you think about it? Like if anyone wants to improve his pronunciation, what could be the best techniques for that?
Yeah, so pronunciation is one of the most important things in a spoken English. I would start with this statement. And second thing is that some people use a lot of difficult and advanced words, but their pronunciation is quite, I would say, difficult to understand. So there is no meaning of using a lot of advanced words and fancy words when you are not able to pronounce them clearly, because another person is not going to understand you, whatever you are saying. So for pronunciation, and it is not our mistakes, because whatever we speak, we learned from our environment, the way teacher taught us, the way we listened from our teachers and society people, the same we are copying, and we are speaking that manner. So that's why we have a lot of MTI, mother tongue influence, and the wrong pronunciation, because we did not hear the right pronunciation from native speakers or anyone who is expert in this language. So this is not our mistake at all. Only the thing is that because we are not born in English environment, and this is also not the fault of the country. I'm proud of India, because we have a lot of languages. We can speak more than one or two languages at the same point of time. Is English speakers can speak one only. Okay, so that is for pronunciation. What you have to do, you have to listen to good speakers carefully, and sometimes you can focus. You can take help of somebody who is good in it, and say to him, listen to my speech and give me the feedback whenever I'm making any mistake. If you feel there is any MTI or wrong pronunciation, give me a reminder so I can write down that word in my diary, and then I can practice with that Google Assistant. Okay, So what I do with my students generally, I try to find their mistakes with the pronunciation. I note down all those words and I send them on WhatsApp and say to them that practice whenever you get time. Try to do practice with that Google Assistants. Or I also help them to speak that those words repeatedly so they can improve. But this is not thing which is going to be like change in one day. It is a process. It takes a lot of time. Maybe that wrong pronunciation you learned in 10 or 20 of 35 years which you have been following. So it's really awkward for you to listen to the right pronunciation. If I would say, like some people say, like poem, okay, but it's poem. So like quite difficult to understand that what is that. I used to say comfortable, okay, but now it's comfortable. So quite awkward to listen to that how it can be comfortable, because I have been listening to comfortable. So like that, the way I should write the words, I'm pronouncing in that way, so I'm not going to make more mistakes in exams. That's what the the idea I had. So people should focus on their pronunciation and find a person who can tell them that what are the words which you can focus on. And second thing, they can listen to their own speech also. Sometimes record yourself listening to your speech and trying to find words where you feel little better. But it's very difficult to find the mistakes by yourself because you think you are correct because you have been following the same thing. So it's better to find a person who can tell you that this is not a neutral accent or this is not the right pronunciation of those words. So then, and second tip, shadowing technique helps a lot. I follow a channel that is English speeches with subtitles. So whenever I get chance, I listen to some good speeches of good celebs, and I follow that and I try to speak after them. That helps your style, your way of speaking, or way of articulating your thoughts, and you improve your pronunciation as well. So in this way, they can practice their pronunciation by knowing where they are making mistakes and by doing shadowing and try to imitate that imitation process. That will help them to do practice. And whenever they get free time, try to do repetition. Repetition matters a lot, because if you will repeat that word for 10 times, your tongue is going to be familiar with that how to pronounce this in new manner.
Wow, again, you made me stunned and amazed the way you have answered all of my questions. I do have a lot of my plate, but for today I am done because this video is going to be long, and I'm not damn sure that whether of taking too much time this video is going to shoot on my gallery or not. And I don't want to lose this golden opportunity to upload this video on my YouTube channel so that the viewers can benefit it by all those. Tips and tricks you have been providing me since we have started interacting with each other regarding the questions I've asked you. So let me stop recording